Once upon a time, there was a poor widow who lived with her son Jack. They had very little, and their only possession of value was a cow named Milky White, which they relied on for milk. One day, the cow stopped giving milk, and they could no longer survive on what little they had. The widow told Jack to take the cow to the market and sell it so they could buy some food. On his way to the market, Jack met an old man who offered him a handful of magical beans in exchange for the cow. The old man promised that the beans would bring Jack great fortune. So Jack, trusting him, traded Milky White for the beans and returned home. When Jack's mother saw that he had returned with only beans, she was furious. She threw the beans out the window, and Jack was sent to bed without supper. That night, as Jack slept, something magical happened. The beans began to grow and grew overnight into a gigantic beanstalk that reached all the way up into the sky. The next morning, Jack woke to find the towering beanstalk outside his window. Curiosity overcame him, and he decided to climb the beanstalk to see where it led. He climbed higher and higher, and after a long climb, Jack reached the top of the beanstalk. To his amazement, he found himself in a land high above the clouds. In this strange land, Jack saw a magnificent castle and decided to explore. He entered the castle and was greeted by a giantess who warned him that her husband, a fierce giant, would return home soon. Jack hid, and when the giant arrived, he began to shout, "Fee-fee-fo-fum! I smelled the blood of an Englishman." The giant sat down to eat and then fell asleep. Jack quickly stole a bag of gold coins from the giant's treasure chest and ran back to the beanstalk. He climbed down and showed his mother the gold, and they were rich for a while. But Jack wasn't satisfied with just gold. He wanted more, so he climbed the beanstalk again. This time, he entered the giant's castle, and while the giant was asleep, he stole a goose that laid golden eggs. Again, Jack escaped down the beanstalk, and his mother was overjoyed with the new treasure. Still not content, Jack climbed the beanstalk a third time. This time, he took a magical harp that played beautiful music on its own. However, this time, the giant woke up just as Jack was about to escape. The giant chased Jack down the beanstalk, shouting for him to stop. Jack, in a panic, reached the bottom of the beanstalk and called for his mother to bring an axe. With the axe, Jack chopped down the beanstalk, and as it fell, the giant tumbled from the sky, never to be seen again. Jack and his mother lived happily ever after, enjoying the treasures Jack had brought back from the giant's castle. Jack's bravery, cleverness, and daring spirit had turned their lives around, and they were never poor again. Moral of the story: the story of Jack and the Beanstalk teaches that bravery, curiosity, and a willingness to take risks can lead to great rewards, but it also shows that greed can lead to trouble. It's a tale of adventure and outsmarting danger.